Hi guys, welcome to the Girl Guide podcast. My name is Grace Bartolotti and I'm a sophomore at Boston College, and I'm creating this video and podcast episode in an effort to paint a well-rounded picture about how COVID is affecting college campuses across the US. So to do so, I've interviewed a bunch of my friends that go to all different kinds of schools, and they are going to share their experiences about how COVID is affecting them specifically and share their personal experiences. So without further ado, I want to introduce all the guests.
Hi, I'm Elaina Lorusso. I go to UMass Amherst. I am a sophomore and I study marketing and I'm the business school at UMass.
Hi guys, I'm Olivia. I go to GW, George Washington University. I am a sophomore and I'm majoring in business administration with possible concentration in finance and real estate.
So I'm Christina. I go to Babson College and I'm a sophomore. I am currently majoring in business. Not really sure what business route I'm going to go yet, but I'm at business school, so that's what I've been studying so far.
I'm Olivia Lobrow and I go to Ramapo College of New Jersey. I am a sophomore nursing major.
So my name is Carter Heslam. I go to UT Austin. I am currently a freshman, majoring in environmental engineering.
So I'm Sophia Icke. I go to Harvard University. I'm a freshman, class of 2024. I took a gap year. I am planning on majoring in neuroscience right now.
So hi guys, my name is Julie Tucci. I go to the University of Colorado in Boulder. I'm a junior there and I double major in marketing and entrepreneurship.
My name is Sophia Longo. I am currently a junior here at Rutgers University. My major is technically psychology, haven't declared it yet, and I'm minoring in English. So yeah.
So I want to start off by painting a really clear picture about what college looks like right now at your specific university. So can you guys just tell me what your current college situation is, where you're living, what your college is doing, etc.?
Harvard, it has like really weird restrictions. It's pretty strict here. So only freshmen are living on campus. There's some exceptions to that rule, like people come back for like research purposes or whatever, but only freshmen on campus. I'm living in an upperclassman house because we were all spread out. So I got pretty lucky. I have a really big room, but I'm in a suite with one other person and everybody's in singles right now. So I'm actually living in a double room, but just myself, which is cool. Yeah, so we have all freshmen on campus. We have all online classes. We only have access to our own dorm building. That's it. We can't go into anything else. We pick up food from the dining hall and bring it back to our room to eat alone. There's nothing open, no libraries, no classroom buildings, no gym.
So I'm curious to hear what college actually looks like if you were to walk through campus. Just tell me what you observe and how is this different from previous years?
So it's really sad because there's just like, I go to school with like 30,000 kids, like, and campus is just like empty because I've actually just walked through it just for the sake of like needing to leave my house because I live like really close to campus. They have little like tents set up with like round tables in a single chair at all of them, and so it's like you could sit there to like study outside, but like you have to do it by yourself. For like the library, there's tables outside of, and they have 3 of them taped off, so it's like this giant table but only one person can sit at them. It's weird. I did hear though that like the lines for like the dining hall were like really bad, that like
Really?
You had to like schedule when you wanted to eat, and then like sometimes kids ended up waiting in line for like an hour, and then like the dining hall would close.
I know you're on the basketball team, so I definitely want to get into kind of what's going on with sports teams. Do they have any plans for this winter? And just kind of break down how practice looks like.
Yeah.
What is going down with sports?
So we all came in like there's no way we're going to have a season. There's no way we're going to practice. So basketball is obviously like a higher risk sport, but we're not scrimmaging. So we're not allowed to play against each other. We're practicing in pods. So in our gym, in most gyms, they'd have like 6 baskets. So there's 2 of us or 3 of us at each basket, and all the drills are like shooting drills, dribbling drills. Basically, we are 6 feet apart. Like, it seems almost impossible to actually be able to do that, but we have been, because we have to. Like I mentioned before, we're also working out in masks. So, I mean, it's definitely really different. Like, it looks a lot different, you know, no high fives, which like is a huge dynamic of sports, and we're not able to do that. And also a lot of schools in our league are either completely online, not having practices at all, or like half, like their juniors and seniors are off. So it's going to be probably kind of hard to put together a season where we can actually play other schools. We have to get tested once a week. So like if we go over like one day, we get an email or like a phone call that's like, you have to come get tested, because in order to play, you have to have like a badge that says like I'm negative, pretty much. But it's been still fun. It's still a sport. It's still a workout, but it's definitely completely different than it used to be.
The football team is playing. I actually went to the first game. What happened was the game was on Saturday, and on Friday you had to go and get tested for COVID at the stadium. It was a like rapid test. Took literally 30 seconds. It was the easiest process in the whole world. And then also you had to wear a mask, and you were supposed to be like socially distanced, but when you get a bunch of kids, like it didn't last very long. It didn't seem like anyone was really regulating social distancing.
Okay.
But we watched literal police come and yell at this guy for not wearing a mask. The mask thing was also like if you had a drink in your hand, they wouldn't that's like you don't have to have a mask on because you're eating or drinking. Or like when you're taking a picture with someone, obviously you're not gonna have your mask on. Like, people weren't really wearing their masks.
Oh, well, first of all, actually, before we went back to school, they sent out an email and they cut 7 sports teams completely, like forever, like indefinitely. The swim team is practicing, but there's no like events that we go to. For the basketball team, there's like dancers, and they do virtual lessons and classes now instead of going. And at the basketball teams, when the teams are playing in the winter, they're going to play the videos of those girls dancing over on a screen instead of in person.
I'm also super interested in hearing about the mental health of the student body. I know 2020 has been a tough year. So how is everyone doing? How is the mental well-being of the student body?
Mental state-wise, I know personally that like being stuck in quarantine for the past couple of weeks has been rough. Thank God I had like my roommates to kind of help me get like through it in a sense, like, but I still have a week to go, but you just gotta make it work, I guess.
I think that this has made people value education in person and like value going to school. Like, I've never seen so many people just want to go to school again. Like,
I think obviously like worse than last year because we're in a pandemic, but I will say I think Villanova is doing a little bit better than other schools or other schools that my friends are at, because I've just heard a ton of stories. But I think overall freshmen have it the worst just because it's really hard for them to make friends and stuff. But no, I feel very fortunate in where I am and how this semester has gone for me.
Did you have to get tested to move in? And if so, how did that process work? And how often are they testing students?
We got tested before we moved in, and then until we got that first negative test result, we weren't allowed to leave our dorm rooms. So they would like deliver food to us and stuff. And then after that first negative test result, you enter phase 2, which means that you basically can't leave your building. Like, you can go outside, but like in the courtyard of your building or like around the perimeter. And like you can go to the dining hall that's in your building to go pick up food and stuff. So that's phase 2, and that lasts until you get your third negative test result. And so then after that, it's like you can go anywhere. After your third negative test result, anywhere within a 10-mile radius of campus, like you can go. But we get tested 3 times a week. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. So, I've tested negative 13 times now.
So we got sent a test 2 weeks before we came to school. And basically, if it was obviously positive, you wouldn't come back until 14-day quarantine. But if it was negative, you could come back. So that honestly, I think that helped at the beginning to just like calm everyone's nerves, but also know that like there's no COVID on campus.
Right.
And then after Labor Day weekend, they started to do random testing. So each week, a group of students get selected and you just go into random tests. So I actually have mine this week on Wednesday.
What does the actual academic schedule look like at your school? Is it a normal first semester, or I know a lot of schools were talking about sending everyone home after Thanksgiving. So I'm curious to hear what your academic schedule looks like.
We have like a much longer winter break, and we have a lot of holidays that we're like Labor Day, we had school.
Got it.
Columbus Day, we have school. But we go home a week before Thanksgiving, have Thanksgiving, and then our exams are online the week after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Also, I don't know if other schools are doing this, but we don't have spring break this year either, which is really weird. So they took away our spring break, and now we're getting out like super early May. Like I think they just want to make it like as a quick year.
Right now, like according to the plan, we are supposed to come back after Thanksgiving. I don't know what the guidelines will be for that, because I guess everything, like we said before, is like up in the air. But right now, like we're still in stage 3, so I guess they're just kind of going with the flow. I don't know. I mean, some other people I do know, as just like kind of like a backup reference, is like I know that even like the school that's like 20 minutes away from here, they are going home after Thanksgiving or staying. So it's like, I guess it just depends. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, colleges need money, so it's like.
Has there been a spike in cases since you've been there, or an outbreak, or have they been able to maintain it pretty well?
I think that like everybody here is doing well. I really haven't heard of many, like I honestly haven't even heard of a friend having like a corona. So
good.
In the sense of like, you know, well-being, people are not as like freaked out about corona here just because it's not prevalent. Like I'm not dealing with corona scares.
Right now at Rutgers, we're actually kind of in like, I don't want to consider like our peak spike, but like so many kids have corona right now or in quarantine. You know, my roommates and I just went through quarantine, this whole like big scare and everything. And we knew coming back to school that this was a really good possibility of people getting sick, obviously, especially if people are not social distancing, which isn't a thing here, honestly. Like kids are still, you know, having parties and this and that and the other thing. Like I'm keeping my distance and like going to like small things like with people that I know, but you know that like people are bound to get sick.
And so now that we have a better idea of the day-to-day at college currently, I want to hear about what you guys are hoping for next semester. What are your hopes versus how do you realistically think it's going to look?
Hopefully people will be able to come on campus and like we can actually get going with like more things and get back into the groove, but I don't know. It's like scary.
I know. I mean, there's so many unknowns right now. I feel like no one has a clear idea of what's going on. Everyone's just trying to like, I feel like 2020 is just making us all cope with like the unknown because you can't plan. You can't plan a month in advance versus 3 months in advance. So who even knows? But
exactly. No, that's such a good point. It's like literally like trying to get comfortable in the unknown. Like we're all so uncomfortable right now with like everything.
Thank you all so much for participating in this video and podcast. And I wish you all the best. Thank you again. And tune in for more episodes of the Girl Guide podcast. Bye, guys.